Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good things. And it's Wednesday. That means it's a special crew here today. First of all, sitting right beside me, we got Chris Carr. Chris, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm so tired. I watched so many TV shows, but it was fun. It was worth it.
We had Obi-Wan, we had Ms. Marvel, and Umbrella Academy dropped, which I have not had a chance to start watching yet.
Good.
Also, because it's Wednesday, she's back. It's Erin Cummings and Joey Bishop. Erin, how you doing?
We are also so tired from all the shows because we were road tripping last week to Boise, Idaho. So not only did I have Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan, I had two Miss Marvels and two Obi-Wans to make sure that I was all caught up, but I am all caught up, and I'm excited to talk about both today and excited to be back here with my friends here and out there.
And, of course, sitting over here, he's going to be joining you guys in the live chat. For those of you who are watching live, Ray Orr is over here. Ray, how you doing?
Hey. So what did you guys do in Boise?
We actually went and saw the surrogate who carried our baby into the world. Yeah.
And all the weather.
It was wonderful. And we saw the lab, and I was like, hey, last time you saw him, he was just a little embryo icicle. Now he's a fully formed human. So that was a really cool way to, go back and visit all the big village that created our child. We didn't just go to Hawaii and get knocked up. Some of us, it takes a little bit longer.
He's like the holy child.
And, of course, running the show today, sitting back there, we got producer Crunchen Fung. Whatever. What did they say your name was?
What?
Renshon.
What was
Renzo?
I'll have to look that up.
Like Renzo's or something.
We were talking about yesterday that there online there is a, by the way, this is Jonathan Boyko, ladies and gentlemen.
Jackson Renzo.
Jackson Renzo. Online, there is a John Travolta name converter. Yeah. So for your whole Adine Dazelle situation. So we
That's
got his
amazing.
As well. Anyway,
love
guys,
that.
it is great to have you joining us here today. And here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to break it down into two parts. The first half of the show, we're going to talk about some predetermined topics. Then the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. Here's how you get a live comment or question on. Number one, you got to be watching live. Number two, as we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. Once we do, they'll be open for like 2 or 3 minutes. That's your window to fire in your thoughts, observations, theories, comments, questions, whatever, and we will read those off in the second half of the show. Also, a little bit of housekeeping. If you need your daily fix of the John Campea Show, but you can't be in front of a YouTube video, good news. There's an audio-only version simply called the John Campea Show podcast. Go and sign up to it on your favorite podcasting app of choice, so it'll be there when you need it. Also, of course, we have our mailbag separate feed for that. So if you just want to get your mailbag episodes, those will be there as well. Okay, guys, with all that down, let's get into some off the tops here, shall we? And our first off the top is this. When we were at CinemaCon this year, they showed us a lot of stuff. Like we saw the entire movie of The Black Phone. They showed us the entire movie of Top Gun. We saw the first 30 minutes of Lightyear. We saw a lot of stuff. One of the things they showed us was just a little glimpse. It was like a 15-second little tease of this horror movie coming out called Smile. And just for 15 seconds, it was pretty damn creepy. And I don't get creeped out easy for anything, but it was a little bit creepy. Well, today, the full trailer of Smile released. And no, it is not a Joker sequel. But I will tell you what, it is the creepiest thing you will watch today. I didn't know much about the premise of this thing. I mean, obviously I heard about it because we were at CinemaCon. I watched this trailer. I'm like, damn, they caught it. One of the really good things that a good little horror film can do is come up with this idea. And if that central idea can really capture your, imaginations or your fear zone in your brain, then that one little idea can really carry something. Lights Out is a great idea. Like that for a horror movie was fantastic. This whole thing about once you see somebody who smiles like this, the countdown clock begins and you're going to die. And I love this trailer. I don't know if the movie's going to be great. It's great seeing A-Train in there and stuff like that. But the trailer,
A moment of joy.
seeing A-Train in there.
We were watching it, little all of a sudden Chris Carr goes, A-Train. Like we're huddling in fear. A-Train.
It's like that one little reprieve from the horror, but I think it's for a little horror trailer. I think it's great. Chris, you and Aaron watched this trailer for the first time this morning. What did you think about the trailer for Smile?
I was burrowed in my hoodie, clinging to Aaron. I hate this trailer so much. It's not a Vitamin C song remake. It's so awful. It looks really, really chilling and horrifying, and it has a very Ring feel to it, right? That
It
kind of like
very
7
much
days
does,
feel.
yeah.
And man, did that movie mess me up. I remember my friends waiting till I saw it at home because I'm a wimp, right? And then they called me right at the perfect moment to let me know that I would die in 7 days. Why do I have a fear of horror movies? It's so weird. This looks awful, and I don't want to see it ever, and I'm sure you'll make me.
And of course, sitting beside you, Aaron. Aaron, you watched the trailer. What did you think of the Smile trailer?
Okay, look, I actually do enjoy a good horror movie, but this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it because I was also clinging to Chris in fear in the very short period of time that we were just watching the trailer. And within seconds, I had tears coming out of my eyes.
She did. I can attest to that. She
Tears
did.
of fear, not like the 80s band, Tears for Fears. This was actually tears of fear coming out of my face, and it is so beyond creepy. I think it's not just gonna be the creepiest thing you'll see all day. I think it's gonna be the creepiest thing you'll see all week. Do not watch this trailer if you are home alone, or like just take your laptop outside. You know,
Watch it in the sunlight.
in the sunlight where there's lots of people around. But even then, I think that this would still be total. And that's the problem, is that look at how bright and sunshiny it is. You can't even escape the fear when you're in a sunshiny, happy place. Because, yeah, it's very creepy. It's very scary. And the only way that I will see this is if Chris and I go together and if you are not sitting behind me.
Yeah.
I can't have anybody sitting behind me when I go see this. But yeah,
So just so you know,
scary.
you guys might know we put up a video on the channel the other day of Aaron watching the scene from The Boys. Got like nearly 100,000 views on that video,
What?
maybe
Yeah.
even more.
Oh,
So
geez.
I had this great idea. We're gonna do it. We're gonna take my second all-time favorite horror movie. It's called The Descent. It's about you'll love it. It's about a group of girlfriends. It's called The Descent.
Okay.
And we are going to record you and Chris watching it in my office.
Okay.
That's going to be my most fun project of the year. I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh,
That's going to be a
goodness.
lot of fun. Anyway, guys,
goodness.
question is for you. Did you have a chance to see the Smile trailer? If so, what did you think about it? Jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, we got one other off the top, and that is this. You know, a couple years ago, Kevin Feige came on stage and announced that they're doing a new Blade movie. And they announced not one time, but two-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali himself was going to be taking over Blade for Wesley Snipes. Now, listen, a lot of people still have a really big soft spot in their hearts for Wesley Snipes as Blade. We all just pretend that Blade Trinity doesn't exist. And we all loved the first two Blade movies, and we loved Wesley Snipes in it. And so a lot of people have wondered whether or not, especially like even in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, people thought, could we see Wesley Snipes popping up? Could we see him cameo in the new Blade movie? Whatever. Well, Wesley Snipes was being interviewed, and he actually dropped a couple of interesting bits of information about himself as it pertains to Blade. The first thing is this, is that he does confirm that nobody has talked to him about cameoing in anything. So it sounds like at this point that don't hold your breath to see Wesley Snipes pop up in something. Now, that doesn't mean that they can at the last minute get a hold of him, say, hey, come down for an afternoon and be in one scene or something. That could theoretically happen. But as of right now, he's saying nobody spoke to him about it, so it's probably not on the dance card. But the second interesting thing is this, is that following the events of Blade 3 and in the subsequent years, he mentions that he actually wrote 2 more Blade scripts. Now, he said this, he said, we actually wrote 2 scripts. We have 2 versions of the story that would have fit well into the Blade world. But since we didn't go that route and we didn't get a knock on the door again, we tweaked them and now we use them for something else. So I've got 2 Blade killers. So basically saying he took those scripts that he wrote for Blade, for the continuation of Blade, and now he's going to turn it into something else that he's calling are going to be Blade killer movies. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm going to be honest with you. While there have been a couple of very rare exceptions, the idea that the actor of a role suddenly can take over and just become the shepherd of that entire role and write the script for where that goes, I admit I roll my eyes at that a little bit. Would it be fun to see Wesley Snipes cameo in a Blade thing? It absolutely would. Do I think it's going to happen? probably not. And I'll say this too, it doesn't need to happen, as a matter of fact. But if they could find a way to just have him as a simple, even like a Stan Lee kind of cameo in it, I think that would be kind of fun. But maybe a kind of fun cameo is not something they're going for in Blade. I don't know. Chris, you hear about this. Is it a missed opportunity if they don't have a Wesley Snipes at least cameo as in Blade?
I mean, is it going to make or break the film? No. However, I don't think we can discount how Wesley Snipes' Blade really was a fantastic comic book movie that really ushered in the comic book movie kind of renaissance that we've seen today. I don't think we would have all of the MCU if the Blade movies, aside from maybe one, weren't so well received. I think it really, really kind of made people more receptive to comic book movies and comic book adaptations. That being said, if he's not in it, will I boycott the film or anything? No. But I think it'd be a very nice homage to have him in there.
Aaron, you hear about this? Do you think, like, I mean, look, I even like Blade 2 more than the original Blade. Like, I don't think Blade was the one that ushered in the Renaissance. I think that was X-Men 1.
That's fair.
But those Blade movies are very, very special. Again, we're pretending the third one doesn't exist. Hannibal King!
Excuse me. No.
Oh, no. Here
We
we
are
go.
not going to pretend that the third one doesn't exist. Ryan Reynolds.
I
And
know.
all of that beauty
I know.
on the ground, on the knees, hands behind his back, total transformation from what was the American Lampoon, like all of a sudden, and we get this deliciousness, and he becomes all of a sudden like the superhero that he is today.
Don't forget about Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Shop.
love
That's
that
what I'm
show.
saying. No, I'm sorry. I am always going to appreciate Blade 3 for
Oh
what
my
it
God,
brought
there it
us.
is right there.
Not only in Ryan Reynolds' insane and beautiful physique, but in Jessica Biel. Like, look at that hourglass.
Okay, look. She looked awesome in that
She
movie.
looked incredible.
And she had a lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean they were badasses. And okay, my opinion about this, sure, for posterity, for nostalgia. I mean, the reports of how he was on set in Blade 3 were just so delightful. I can't imagine why
Yeah.
anyone wouldn't want to have him hanging around on set. I mean, he just sounds like a joy to work with. Just ask Halle Berry. I am not a huge fan. It's hard sometimes to separate the actor from the person when there's so many things that are reported about the person that are just so unsavory. I really would love to see this be Mahershala Ali's story and let it be his story. It's always interesting to me when an actor goes, hey, I starred in this thing and it's the thing that I'm mostly known for. And so I'm just going to keep wanting to do that thing over and over and over again. So I wrote all my own scripts. And hey, good for him for writing. I think it's wonderful for any creative person to exercise their creativity in other ways. But I would really like for this to be the Mahershala Ali version of Blade. I don't need a throwback. I want this to be his thing for him only. And I personally don't think that a Wesley Snipes cameo adds anything. In fact, I personally believe that it's a bit distracting to the new story that's being told in this new iteration, whatever that may be. If there were a way to creatively, have it in there and it made sense, maybe. But I mean, we don't see any of the original Mission Impossible cast in the Mission Impossible franchise. I mean, the Mission Impossible television series from 1988. So I don't necessarily think that you owe anybody that.
No, I don't think so either. Although I have always thought that it would have been neat if they had made Wesley Snipes Whistler.
Ooh.
There would have been something kind of poetic about that. Like there was almost like a passing of the baton. I don't think Wesley Snipes would have ever gone for that. And if Delroy Lindo is indeed Whistler, and we don't know that he is, he could be a completely different character. But if Delroy Lindo is Whistler, I'm all down for that too. But we'll have to see. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Yes, right.
There's a note too. Like it looks like Blade is going to be the last movie of Phase 4 from the listing here. So that'll be interesting to see because with the news yesterday of Kevin Feige saying that the plans will all be clear after this phase, then
Well, remember, Kevin Feige said it's all going to become more clear in the next couple of months.
Oh, okay.
And Blade is still a ways. I remember the phases are arbitrary made up numbers pulled out of their asses. They don't really mean anything, but still the fact that it will be the last one and there could be something significant there, we'll keep our eyes on that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Wesley Snipes says he has not been approached at all about coming back and cameoing in Blade. Do you think that's a missed opportunity, or do you feel like, you know what, for a movie like this, it could actually just be distracting? Whatever you guys feel, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topics here today, shall we? But before we get into those main topics, we want to take a second and thank one of the sponsors of today's video. Guys, I've been having the best sleep of my life thanks to our sponsor, Helix. Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this video, Helix Sleep. Guys, let me tell you, just a couple of days ago, Ann and I received our Helix mattress, and it is the best mattress we have ever slept on in our entire lives. We had like this $3,000 specialized mattress that we got like 5-6 years ago, and we liked it very much, but this one completely outdoes it. It's night and day. And you can get matched with your perfect mattress too. See, Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just like a minute to complete, and it matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for somebody else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way that you sleep. I hopped online, took the Helix quiz, and Anna and I were matched with the perfect mattress for us. And it is so easy to set up. Simply take it out of the box, get it positioned on your mattress, take off the plastic, and then give it an hour or two to breathe to reach its full size, and you will not believe how comfortable this thing is. All you got to do is go to helixsleep.com/Campea. Take their 60-second sleep quiz, and they'll match you to a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. And it's risk-free. They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will. Helix even has financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. And here's the best part. Helix is offering up to $200 off of all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Campea. And a big thank you to our friends at Helix for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Remember, when you support our sponsors, you're actually supporting us. So if you go down to the description, right near the top of the description of this video, you're going to see a link to all of our sponsors and the promo codes. And again, thank you to Helix for sponsoring this episode. All right, guys. With that down, let's get into our main topics here today. And how do we select our main topics on the John Campea Show? Well, that's easy. You guys come up with them. See, whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first one is coming from Josh Medier. Hi, John. I was lucky enough to see an early fan screening of Elvis with my sister and her husband. I admit I don't actually know a lot about Elvis, just a lot about his songs and music. I personally loved it. Austin Butler should be an early favorite to win the Oscar, and Tom Hanks was just incredible. I wanted to know if you had a chance to see it yet, and if so, what did you think of it? Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot for writing that in, man. And yeah, I had a chance also to go to an early screening of it. Ann and I went to go see it. Now, listen, I'm going to admit, while I know a bunch of Elvis's music, I actually don't know a lot about Elvis. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff, and I know who, Colonel Parker was and all that kind of stuff, but I really don't know much about it. But I did know this. It was being directed by Baz Luhrmann, who has directed one of my top 20 all-time favorite films in Moulin Rouge. And so I was down to check it out. Then they showed us some preview stuff at CinemaCon for it. It was bombastic, and just the kinetic energy of it was incredible. I was very much looking forward to it. So I went to go see it last night, and I will say this. If you scalpeled 20 to 25 minutes out of this movie, it's a top 5 movie of the year. Like the first hour and a half, like the whole movie, truly you can say all movies are really made in the editing bay. But the editing is really where this movie is made. It is just this frantic, insane pace of images and moving things, but that all flow together so seamlessly. It has this undeniable energy to it. And Austin Butler as Elvis Presley, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, he's so good. And I completely agree with you that as of right now, he would have to be considered a leading contender for an Oscar for his role in this thing. As of right now, we'll see if that's still the case in December. But he's absolutely fantastic. Tom Hanks, I think, Tom Hanks is not going to be able to make himself unlikable. He's Tom Hanks. Oh, yes, he does.
Ooh.
Him as the Colonel. I totally see a Best Lead Actor nomination for Austin. I see a Best Supporting Actor nomination for Hanks. This just sounds, I mean, it's incredible. It's really, really great. The way they tell their story, the way they set it against the cultural background of the events and things going on, it's just really great. So why don't I actually think it's going to end up being a top 5 movie of the year? This movie is far too long.
How long is it?
It's about 2 hours, hovering around the 2.5, maybe 2.5 plus. And here's the problem with it. The reason that really comes into play is because, like I said, it is such this maniacal, incredible pace with the rapid editing, but that works flawlessly and seamlessly. After 2 hours, you're getting mentally exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
And certain points of it just drag out a little bit too much. And so by the time the movie was over, I was spent. I'm just like, okay, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad it's over. Again, overall, I think this is a very good movie. I think most people will enjoy it very much. Again, Austin Butler, his performance in this is a revelation. He's absolutely phenomenal in it. The music is great. Oh my gosh, there are so many times you just find yourself like moving your leg and you're like, they're just getting into the music. So good. Tom Hanks. I mean, for a lot of other actors, it would have been the performance of a career, but not for Tom Hanks, but still was absolutely amazing. But again, the big weakness of it is that the strength of the film, that undeniable freight train of a pace, starts to work against it once it gets past that 2 hour and 10 minute, 2 hour and 15 minute, 2 hour and 20 minute. Once you get there, it just really, then it starts to drag a bit. So 25 minutes shorter, top 5 movie of the year. As it stands, still very good. I enjoyed it a lot. So Chris, what have been your expectations for this movie?
I mean, I'm really excited about this one because I also love Moulin Rouge. That's one of my favorites as well. However, sometimes Baz Luhrmann is a little too Baz Luhrmann for me.
He's a little self-indulgent.
Yeah, you know, like, Great Gatsby, which I already, as a novel, I'm always like, more like the mediocre Gatsby. So clever. But I just felt like that movie as well. There were so many moments where I went, well, that's a nice music video. Okay. So I do wonder if he could just do a little more Coco Chanel, right? And we take away one item before we head out the door.
Right.
And I think that would behoove him very well. I'm very excited to see this still because everything with Austin Butler looks incredible. And hearing him speak too about just his process and what he wanted to bring to the character when we were at CinemaCon really got me excited about it. I think that this is going to be a really great launching point for his career because he seems like an immense talent.
Aaron, where's your expectation level been for this movie?
Well, first of all, Baz Luhrmann, to me, he is in the top 5, I would almost say top 3 directors that I would love to work with. Yes, because he just has such an incredibly creative imagination, and he's able to somehow translate what he sees in his head while he's possibly on mushrooms. He's able to translate that onto the big screen. And I think, and that's always something that's so fascinating to me. It's like, how is it that a filmmaker takes what they see in their head and they are able to articulate it in a way that a whole team of people who are not living inside that director's brain, how they are able to then make that a reality on the screen for all of us. And it's interesting, the movies that you guys were talking about, because I just did a quick little search over the running times of some of his other movies, and his most successful films, Moulin Rouge and William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, which I would argue are the 2 most successful films that he has had, are both they hover around the 2 hour mark. And then we go into Great Gatsby, which was successful, but it was a little bit hit or miss with some people. That gets to 2 hours and 22 minutes. We look at Elvis being at 2 hours and 39 minutes. Australia, which was an epic adventure.
Big sprawling,
but really did not connect with people, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I think that you hit the nail on the head. Baz Luhrmann, as we also saw, because he spoke at CinemaCon and was responsible for the entire segment running way too long, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I would listen to him speak for hours. There's a lot of personality there.
Yeah.
And so for most of the viewing audience, having that much adrenaline running we max out at a certain point, and I think that with Baz Luhrmann, when he is condensed to 2 hours, it's 2 hours of rock solid
All killer, no
awesomeness.
filler.
Yes, exactly. I know that I'm going to love this movie. There is no question in my mind. I'm not necessarily the biggest Elvis Presley fan, but I do love his music. And I think that just having a story about someone who was a larger than life personality, whether it's Elvis Presley or Liberace, there's always such an incredible story to be told there, and having Baz Luhrmann and his imagination have it explode off the screen. I know I'm going to love this movie. I'm excited about seeing it, but I will definitely not drink too much water that day because
it's
my bladder
long
maxes
one.
just like a Baz Luhrmann movie. My bladder maxes out at 2 hours.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you guys think? Where is your anticipation level right now for Elvis? You've been seeing the reviews. You've been hearing all this kind of stuff. You heard what I had to say about it. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Ryan McLeod. Hi, John and crew. I was doom scrolling on Facebook when I saw the official Rings of Power account posted their first look at orcs in the show. I think they are utterly fantastic. They look heavy metal, possibly surpassing the original trilogy and way over the CGI overhaul from the Hobbit trilogy. What do you think? And does this continue to elevate your excitement for the show? Love from Scotland.
Thanks a lot for saying that in, Ryan. Yeah, look, there is nothing coming out on television that I'm more excited about than the Rings of Power. I'm very, very, very excited about the House of the Dragon. I'm super stoked about that. By the way, new key art came out for that. New poster came out for that. It looked amazing. The dragon in it looks incredible.
Googling.
So I'm very excited about that. But the Rings of Power is basically been my most anticipated thing coming out on television for years now, like years and years and years. I think they were talking about it when I was still a Collider, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's been a long time. So I'm very, very excited about this. Everything from all the people behind the scenes. That first little teaser they showed us, it was nothing to write home about, but it was just a little thing. It's like, look, everybody, this show is coming. So I'm not even counting that, but from the people involved behind this camera and all that kind of stuff, very stoked. So now these new images came out of the orcs. So let's take a look at this. So these images came out, which I think look fantastic. Now, if you know anything about, they do touch on it in the Lord of the Rings films, but when you go into like the original lore and stuff like that, Morgoth, like basically orcs were elves. Mm-hmm. They were tortured, deformed, and whatever, and the new race of orcs were born. And getting a chance to see, and there's other images that fall in there as well. I don't know if we've got them on the page there, Jonathan, somewhere. I think they're scrolled a little. If you go scroll a little bit down, you're gonna see a rotation of images. Yeah. Right there, you go. Yeah. That especially that one with the skull on his head. Mm. Well, that looks terrifying too. That looks a little bit. That looks a little bit like something out of a nightmare or whatever.
That looks like the guy who says, "What about their legs? They don't need their legs."
They don't need them. It's a really good look. Now, look, just because the physical look of something is good, that does not mean the show will be good. Not at all. I mean, this could be a terrible, terrible show with fantastic looking orcs, because these guys looked amazing. I think this looks fantastic, terrifying, right out of what Peter Jackson kind of did, but with a little bit of an adaptation to it. I think it looks great. Again, but that doesn't mean the show's going to be good. My fingers are still crossed that the show is going to be everything I'm dreaming it's going to be, but they certainly are nailing the aesthetic of it. Anyway, Chris, you see these images. What are the things that jumped out to you?
I'm so happy. I'm so excited. It is Gimli, son of Gloin's 12th birthday today. Oh. Also known as the day that I decided is his 12th birthday, because he's a dog. He has no concept of time or space. I am so excited about this. I love this so much. I think everything looks really, really great. I know some people, too, were like, talking about how these kind of looked better maybe than some of the things that we saw in Peter Jackson's films, or still looked more like built and big compared to the little guys we see kind of running around with Sauron. Right. But I think people are also getting them confused with the Uruk-hai a little bit too.
Yes, right? A lot of people don't realize there is a difference between goblins, orcs, Uruk-hai.
Yeah. Uruk-hai are from the third the third generation, basically. And that is a crossbreeding of humans and orcs through magic, I believe.
Something like
if I'm
that.
not mistaken. So those are the big, beefy guys. But these dudes have been coming out of hiding, too. So I love that we've got this kind of, very, very sickly, pale effect to them, too. They've been in hiding. They've been lurking in the shadows, and they're slowly emerging again. I think it's a great aesthetic.
Aaron, you see these images, like, how are they jumping out to you?
Well, one of the things that really jumped out to me is in several of the images that were released, we're seeing them running. And I think that is something that's also adding to the fear factor of them, is that they're not stagnant, stationary creatures. They're clearly creatures who are predatory, who are hunting, who are going to be chasing. I feel like we're going to see a lot of action from these characters just by the images that the studio has chosen to release. And also, to Chris's point, the different iterations, what also people have commented on is how they like the practical makeup that's on the actor versus the CGI version.
I hated that.
Yeah, and in addition to the pale, sickly, I've been living underground and I'm just now emerging. I mean, just look at the red eyes. Those are not eyes that are used to sunlight, and those are not teeth that are used to dental floss. These are really people who are creatures who have seen some stuff and are clearly not very happy. So I really just love these running images because it makes me go, okay, we're going to get a lot of action out of them. We're going to see them hunting and being the predatory creatures that not just, I'm going to be mad and I'm going to growl at you, but actually I'm going to hunt you down and murder you.
I gotta say, though, I like their chompers a lot more than the ones we saw in that friggin' Smile trailer.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How
Smile
about
trailer.
orcs smile at me all day?
But here's the thing, too, like I saw these images come out, and there's been a lot of positive reaction to them because, the Ring of Power show has had mixed reaction from some people out there, some because of their own little political agendas, and some because they're like, this doesn't kind of look like my Lord of the Rings, whatever. But a lot of people seem to be liking these, and I hear the call coming again. Why not just do the Silmarillion? Right? Why not just make that? Look, more than ever, there's a phrase about some books that they simply label them as unfilmable. This is one of those. The overall story of the Silmarillion is completely unfilmable. You cannot make that into a coherent, understandable 2.5, 3 hour movie. You can't do it. Even if you did it in 3 parts, even if you did it in 7. So the fact that they moved on to this age, I think even makes more sense. Anyway, guys, question is for you. You've had a chance to take a look at these images now. Everything else aside, and we acknowledge that great still images don't necessarily mean a great show. But what do you think of the images themselves? I think they look great. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys. With that down, we're going to take another second here and thank another sponsor of today's episode. These are folks that I have worked with for a couple of years now, making editorial videos, my own documentary, the great folks over at Storyblocks. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea. Hey guys, whether you need music, images, templates, whatever, Storyblocks is for you. Special thanks to them for sponsoring this episode. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move into main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This one comes from Edward North. Greetings, John and crew. I know not as many people are watching Ms. Marvel as the other Marvel shows so far, but after this episode, I feel very safe in saying I think this is the best Marvel show they've put on Disney Plus so far. Even better than WandaVision. I feel like we've now moved beyond just getting to know the characters and the main story is coming into focus. And it just keeps getting better and better. What did you guys think of the new episode?
All right, so you guys know that there is a show on Disney Plus that I absolutely love watching, and it ain't Obi-Wan. It's not that I hated Obi-Wan, but it's Ms. Marvel. This show continues. You guys know I love the first 2 episodes. I sat down to watch the 3rd episode. And here's the thing. I was telling everybody this prior to us going on air today. I put my finger now on what it is that just makes me love this show. This show, and this, I was watching the episode last night. I'm like, there it is. This show gives me joy. It gives me joy. I watch this show, and whether it's Kamala just doing her thing, her circle of friends, what they're doing, whether it's the family when the dad's saying, well, this is why we came to America, so our children could be whatever they wanted to be. And then last night, without going into a lot of details on the plot, you know, it's the brother's wedding episode where the brother gets married. And I'm watching this, and I'm realizing, I pause for a second, so I'm reaching for my drink, and I realize, oh my God, my cheeks hurt because I'm just grinning. I'm realizing I'm just watching these characters and who they are, these good, wonderful people. And it just makes me happy. And there's not a lot of shows today that I watch that just make, like, my number one show on television is Yellowstone. But I don't just feel happy. I don't feel a lot of joy watching. I mean, I have a great time watching it. Don't get me wrong. I think it's the best show on TV, but I'm watching this and I'm watching the wedding scene unfold. And I'm just like, I'm filled with joy watching it. It just, it reminds me of that film that Lupita Nyong'o was in called Queen of Katwe, which I absolutely adore. I remember I came out of the movie and I said, there's something great about just going into a movie about good people doing good things. That's just like a palate cleanser for the soul or whatever, compared to a lot of the other types of movies that I like watching, right? But I'm watching this show. It's fun. It's charming. It's endearing. This episode was right up there too. And I realized again at the end, I was just filled with a whole shit ton of joy watching it. And I find myself when it ends, no, don't stop, because I want to keep dwelling in this, and that character is so charming, so great. And you're right. This is the episode where now the basic story is now coming unfold. We've had little mysteries, little hints dropping along the way. This is the episode now where it starts to become unpacked. We start to see where they're going with it. We are starting to get our antagonists now. All great, but I loved the episode. I have loved this show so far. I am not ready to say it is as good as WandaVision. That is a very high bar. But if it continues this out for the next 3 episodes, it'll be in the conversation. So I loved what I saw. Anyway, Aaron, you had a chance to get caught up on Ms. Marvel. What are you thinking so far, and what do you think about the episode last night?
You're absolutely right. It is, I have just finished binging the last season of Peaky Blinders, and while it is one of the best shows on television, joyful is not exactly how it leaves one. So this was an excellent palate cleanser. I agree. It's not only joyful. What stands out to me is how unbelievably relatable the show is on so many levels. I won't go into details, but there's a period where Kamala and her mom are talking about what her faith does for her. And growing up in a very Catholic household, and my mom is like a super Catholic, that's a term I've decided. My mom is a super Catholic. And hearing Kamala's mom talk to her about what her faith does for her, it sounded exactly like the way that my mom talks about what her faith does for her. And whether or not you yourself are a religious or a faithful person, regardless, it's a window into what gives people a sense of peace when they are troubled. And what I saw in this was that...
By the way, there's a great line in that whole thing just where the mom says, I found my family.
Oh, yes.
And then she goes, she expounds on that, but I'm like, oh, yes. And
there's so many really beautiful one-liners that no matter what background you have, no matter where your belief system lies, no matter whether you live in New Jersey or you live in, New Delhi, it doesn't matter. Like there are some commonalities that anyone can find with these people. And especially the fact that, yes, there are young people, they are, in high school, but that doesn't mean that their problems are not real regardless of your age. We all have those moments in life where we're like, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know how I'm going to get out of this situation. And, for some of us, it's, gosh, how do I deal with being a superhero? I mean, I battle that every day. Me and Kamala, we're just like totally there. But for the rest of us, it's just life stuff. And so I am actually finding so much joy in this because it reminds me that, hey, I am not the only person that's going through stuff. And clearly, if they're writing it in this television show, it means that there are enough people sitting around a writer's room and enough people sitting there making this show that go, hey, man, life's sometimes really tough, and let's add some motivational quips in there. So I agree. I think this is a really fun show. I love how we're continuing to see her skills building. And I love, like I said, from the very first episode, I liked the fact that there weren't a lot of action scenes and that we didn't see Miss Marvel. We just saw a teenage girl. And now we're seeing her getting more and more confident and seeing the evolution of a hero and not just, one served to us on the platter. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm so happy that we still have how many more episodes?
3 left.
3 more.
Yeah, thrilled. Happy
Halfway
about
through.
it.
Yeah.
Chris, you had a chance to see the new episode. What are you feeling right now?
Oh man, I love this. I love what Aaron was saying too, because I love when people say that this is hard to relate to. Were you not young once?
Right.
Did you just show up Benjamin Button
Do you
dial?
not have a family?
Yeah, do you not have a
Do
family?
you not go to school?
You just poofed into existence. Good for you. Love
Every
that.
day is a holiday for
Yeah.
you. You don't have any problems.
Well, and watching things like this too, you always realize, oh, I remember when I was that age and I thought once I'm older, I'll figure everything out. And then you get older and you go, oh my gosh, I still don't know anything. Like so many of the adults in this, like that wonderful conversation between the brother and the father.
Oh,
I
that was
related-
so good.
yeah.
I related to that so hard as a real poor kid who got married in a backyard and was like, well, let's hope for the best on this one. I love this show so much. I think it's interesting how it's getting less stylized as we go along too, which is very, very cool to kind of watch that trickle out and everything. And this was a great episode to see how this is going to connect so intrinsically to the MCU. There's so much good stuff here. Really cool things hearkening to the comics where they're taking some of the lore and working it into this story in a really fun, organic way too. So if you are a fan of like deep cuts of Marvel, this has some real juicy things in there too. I think it's something that is a great show for anyone, whether you're a casual viewer or a Marvel diehard. I don't understand why more people aren't tuning in.
By the way, but there may be, like I said, the numbers we talked about the other day were just for the debut episode.
true.
I think we're going to see the numbers, the week over week numbers continue to climb. But I'll just tell you this one thing about the episode that I just about died. I had to pause the show. You, of course, know that the parents have a deep love of Bon Jovi from the previous episode, right? At the wedding, they have a Bon Jovi cover band, a Pakistani Bon Jovi cover band whose name is Brown Jovi.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I loved the inclusion of the Bon Jovi songs in there.
Yes.
There's a great sequence that has a Bon Jovi song, and it's awesome. It works very well. The music in this show is aces.
It's flawless.
By the way, I got to give you a feeling old moment. Me and a friend were in line at a Earl of Sandwich in Las Vegas, right? So we're in this big line. If you try to go to Earl of Sandwich in Las Vegas, it's a big, long line. And there's a couple of girls standing in front of us who had come out of a club, because it was like 3 a.m. They're coming out of a club. And there's this song, the Bon Jovi song called Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
One of the great rock songs of all time.
Sure.
Some want it, right?
Dead or alive.
And that song's playing, and we're just kind of, and then we heard the girl in front of us say, "What's this?"
Oh, jeez.
And I wanted to say, "Go to your room." Like, I don't know. It's like, what?
You're not old enough to be out at 3 a.m., young lady.
Yes, if you don't know this song, just go back to your room. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Have you been following on Miss Marvel? Did you see the episode last night? If so, what did you think? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Chris, What is our fourth main topic today?
This is from the Geeks Cantina. That's a cute name. Well, Top Gun Maverick just keeps on flying. The movie is now officially Tom Cruise's first $900 million film and will most likely end up passing Doctor Strange for the #1 movie of the year in just another week or two. The theater I saw it at again last night was still like 80% full. When I saw Lightyear, there was a decent crowd with only about 65% full. Just how big do you think this movie can get? And is it joining the $1 billion club? Now inevitable?
Okay, so it feels like every day now there's a new landmark being passed by Top Gun Maverick. A movie that, Aaron and I have been telling you for a year and a half after just watching the first 18 minutes of it a year and a half ago at CinemaCon going, guys, get ready. Because I was a naysayer for a couple of years on that movie until they showed us that first 18 minutes a year and a half ago. And I'm like, nope, get ready, everybody. This movie is going to be really, really fun and really, really great. And we live in an era now where we're always hearing that no movies can be really successful unless they're comic book movies. That's it. Only comic book movies or maybe some Star Wars movies. That's it. Nothing else can. And then they went and got this 36-year-old IP. Came way too late. That I said. I thought for a long time this movie came way too late. And boom, it has now crossed in just 25 days the $900 million mark. And you're absolutely right. First time in Tom Cruise's long and historied career that that's ever happened. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who wrote the following. Paramount's blockbuster Top Gun Maverick is still flying at sky-high altitudes, surpassing $900 million at the global box office, with a $901.8 million in the bank. The sequel to Tom Cruise's 1986 action flick Top Gun stands as the year's second highest grossing movie worldwide, just behind Disney's Marvel's adventure Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which has $943 million. At this rate, Maverick is poised to overtake the crown in the coming weeks. Even without playing in China or Russia, the $1 billion mark looks to be within reach. That would be notable because only one other Hollywood movie, Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home, has crushed that particular benchmark in COVID times. And again, that comes to us from the folks at Variety. So as of right now, by the way, Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, very quietly gone on to accumulate $943 million at the box office, which is just incredible. Now we've got Top Gun only about $40 million behind it. It shows no signs of slowing down. I think it will catch and pass Doctor Strange to be the #1 box office film of the year, at least for now. And then I think $1 billion is probably, before I would say, it's going to be a big hit, but it's not going to be $1 billion. It's going to be a big hit, but it won't be $1 billion. I'm not going to say $1 billion is inevitable at this point. It's going into its 5th week and it still needs $100 million. So I'm not going to say it's inevitable, but I would now bet on it. I would bet on it crossing that $1 billion mark. It'll definitely cross Doctor Strange to be the #1 thing. So anyway, Chris, look, we've talked a lot about why is this movie so successful? Because it's just week after week after week. It's just incredible stuff. Why does it have the legs that it has? Why does it just continue to be in the top 3 at the box office and just continue to hold those numbers? What do you see in that?
I'm honestly not the person for that question, right? Because this for me, I was like, it's a movie. I saw it and it was good. I didn't have the emotional experience that you guys had, where there were certainly moments where I was like, oh, that's a beautiful shot. This is so well acted. Oh, this scene right here has got me, weeping and tearing up and everything. But I think for so many people, there's so many things that are relatable in this story, right? Of whether or not you came from a military family, like Aaron does, or if you saw this film and it really was impactful for you in your youth, or if it's something that, you and your parents get to go see together. I think people keep coming back to this film and seeing it over and over again because it is that old summer blockbuster that we used to have, that you'd go see a movie that was fun and great, and you left the theater with something good to talk about. That used to be something like a Jurassic, right? Whereas now you go, yeah, some dinosaurs ate some people, but I don't know if I had that much fun. I don't know if the stupid outweighed the fun there. And I think in Top Gun here, you have a really great story where the good guys win. And you walk away with some good, feel-good American feelings. And I think maybe that's why people are enjoying it so much. I don't know.
Aaron, we know you love the film. You've expressed why you've loved it, but seriously, these kinds of legs, this week after week success, what do you attribute that to?
I mean, I have said from the beginning, you guys thought I was crazy, but I was like, this is going to do better than Multiverse of Madness. I called it, and I believe it is still going to happen. I see no problems with this hitting the $1 billion mark. And I think that for all the reasons why Chris named already. There's the nostalgia factor for so many people that are, Gen Xers like myself and above. The military, obviously, anyone who has any connection whatsoever to the military is going to really love this. What you talked about as well been there, done that. We've seen dinosaurs eat people. What else is new? And, the comic book movies, it doesn't have that. The thing that this has that a lot of other tentpole movies don't have is reality. That there's nothing that happens in Top Gun Maverick that doesn't actually happen. There's no crazy, creatures that are CGI that are coming out and eating people. All of that, the dog fighting that happens when the planes are in the air, that actually happens. That's real life. Real life pilots do those things in real life. And so many of these, I'm not going to say, because I don't know for a fact that every single one of these airplane shots was practical and that there was no CGI, or I don't know that. That may be the case because, as we know, Tom Cruise is such a big fan of doing everything in its entirety and for real. But, what's happening in Top Gun is not a CGI Hollywood miracle. It's actually stuff that happens in real life. And I think that's something that's been a nice breath of fresh air for people, is while we can appreciate the imagination and the creativity of the world of fantasy and the world of comic books, and that's fantastic and we love that. It's also really nice to go, oh, wow, that's some really crazy, awesome, powerful, mind-blowing stuff. That's also stuff that happens in real life. And I think that there's something about that that's capturing the imagination. And at the end of the day, it's a palatable, good, fun movie that you can bring your kids to, and you're not going to have to shield their eyes. I just think that this is a movie that a lot of people can go to and enjoy themselves and go, you know what? I want to watch that again, and I want to tell more people about it.
There's also and I don't mean this as a negative, but there is a very comfortable simplicity to the movie, right? This is not going to win any Academy Awards for Best Screenplay or anything like that, right? It is a very comfortable, easy to just slide into the theater, sit down, and just watch. Almost turn off your brain a little bit and just watch, with some great emotional moments. Like, again, the Val Kilmer stuff was just absolutely killer. But it was the cameras in the cockpit. That stuff, they just found a way to make the flying stuff, even just the training scenes, so engaging and watchable. Ray,
I know someone is going to watch this show and can help me right now. When Jurassic World Dominion Steam runs out, and there's like maybe some downtime in between releases, can you please put Top Gun back in 4DX for at least one day so I can see it one more
Ray
time?
Ray really wants to go see that in 4DX. Like a lot.
It's not showing in 4DX in our area anywhere, and I'm searching 50 miles away from us, 100 miles away from us. So just one day, you'll at least sell one ticket.
I've never been to a 4DX theater, but that is a movie I would go to a 4DX to check it out.
Can I just admit something here? I don't actually know what that is.
I think a lot of people don't know what it is.
It's when you're in the seats that move.
Imagine that, Aaron. I've
been in those things at a theme park, and there's a something breathing on your neck.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I did it for Sonic, and it was great. Just got to go fast.
That sounds fun. I would love that for Top Gun. Yeah.
I actually just booked my ticket to see it for the first time this Friday while we were talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Still in the AMC Prime, so I'm like, you know what? It's still in a good theater. On Friday at evening, I'm going to go see it.
I'm so excited.
Gone with
Everyone's going to think
It's in
you're
Burbank.
cosplaying.
Everybody's going to think Jonathan is
You have to
cosplaying.
wear a bomber jacket.
Hang on. All right.
Okay, Rooster.
I have a flight suit that I will let you borrow.
There it
It's
is.
part
Yeah,
of
so-
Yes.
I'm feeling the need.
Yes.
Yes, put a background
Oh,
on
man.
me too.
All right, guys, question is
Looks like
for
a
you.
porn star.
Why do you think Top Gun just continues to roll the way it doesn't have the legs that it does? Do you see it crossing the $1 billion mark? I think it will. It's not a lock. It still has $100 million to go going into its fifth weekend, but still, it's totally within range here. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move into main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
This one comes from Thomas J. Hey, John, as I write this, I'm waiting for my pizza to get here, and me and a couple of friends are getting ready to watch the finale of Obi-Wan. I wanted to get this into you before I see it. What do you think of the finale, and how well do you think the show did overall? Will this show we all look back on and love like Mandalorian, or not so much like Boba Fett? Was the long wait worth it? What are your thoughts?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Thomas. And there is going to be an open spoiler discussion, pardon me, a little bit later today with Robert Meyer Burnett and Chris Carr talking about Obi-Wan. But I just thought I would give my quick thoughts here. So it's now done. Obi-Wan is now in our rearview mirror. Overall, it was fine. I think overall was fine. I think it had some definite horrible lowlights, but some definite big highlights as well. And then some just kind of meandered in the middle there a little bit. I think at the end of the day, when I look back on the Obi-Wan series, I will think that was fine. It was fine. I don't have this vitriol hatred for it like I think some people do. I certainly don't have an overwhelming love for it that some people do, but it was okay. It was fine. I put it somewhere around, maybe just a little bit above Boba Fett, which I also did not hate, but also not great. As far as the finale goes, I'm going to say this. There is a fight in the finale. Look, it was in the posters. I mean,
Yeah.
Obi-Wan and Vader fight again. That's not giving anything away.
What? Whoa.
The fight, and I do not use this word often, and I do not use the word lightly. The fight between Vader and Obi-Wan is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely legendary. It is instantly a top 3 best lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars to me. And when I think about it more, it might even be top 2. I mean, the greatest lightsaber fight in Star Wars history is still the Emperor's Throne Room, Luke and Vader. There's drama behind it. There's narrative being played out. There's tension. There's all that kind of stuff. This might be the second greatest lightsaber battle in Star Wars history. I was enthralled with it every badass moment of it. And it wasn't just Vader being badass. It was Obi-Wan going, oh yeah, that's right. I'm General Kenobi, bitch. And just unleashing Obi-Wan. And it's the Obi-Wan I think a lot of us wanted to see for a long time. That said, there's a reason you don't say, you know, it'd be really cool seeing Optimus Prime fight a dinosaur. Yeah, let's build a movie around that.
Yeah, Beast Wars.
Yeah, there's a reason for that. There's a reason you start, as Robert Meyer Burnett would always say, start with story. Because watching that fight, as thrilling as it was, and one of the greatest things I've seen on a TV screen in a long time, I realized, yeah, but they never really built a great story around it. I feel like they started with, you know, it'd be cool if we did a show where Obi-Wan and Vader fight again. That would be cool. And that's where they started instead of starting with story. And one of the big distractions and drawbacks was, while this incredible, one of the greatest things Star Wars has ever put on a screen was happening, they kept cutting away to one of the most pointless, dumb, I don't give a shit about what's going on over there, things going on somewhere else. And then they come back to the fight, and then they cut away again to something that nobody cared about. Nobody cared about. And so at the end of the day, I was having a discussion with somebody on Twitter. It's like, yeah, but John, wasn't that fight amazing? I'm like, yes, that fight was amazing, but that 8-minute fight does not justify a mediocre 4-hour series that clearly didn't have a lot of thought put into it, clearly didn't have a lot of preparation put into it. But at the end of the day, again, I did not hate the overall series. And my God, if you're going to end this series on some way, that fight was the way to do it. It was thrilling and awesome, although kind of a little bit of a, wow, where have we seen this before? these guys fight and it ends that way. Yeah, we've kind of seen that already in Star Wars, but still, it was absolutely thrilling. I love that moment of it. Again, I just struggle today to think about what was the point of that series. Like, what was the addition to the lore of Star Wars that Obi-Wan makes? And I'm not really sure I have an answer to that right now. So again, did I hate it? Nope. If there was an episode 7 next week, would I watch it? Yes. Did it have some incredible highlights? Absolutely it did. Is that fight one of the greatest things I've ever seen? Yep. But there was 3.5 hours of other stuff that so yeah, at the end of the day, my overall thing is Obi-Wan was fine. It was fine. Anyway, Chris, you've watched the series now overall. Yep. What's your overall impression of the series, and any specific thoughts about the finale? You know,
I liked the finale a lot more than I thought I would. And I would definitely place episode 1 as my favorite, this in the number 2 slot, and then, stagger them all out from there.
Episode 1 was great.
Episode 1 was amazing.
It was great.
High hopes, and then, whee! Settle down. There are some really, really great things here. And yeah, this is my problem with things that are prequels, right? Or just inserted stories when we know how things are going to turn out for other people. When you try to create drama or danger or anything like that, and I already know the outcome because there's several other movies in this series, you got to give me something juicy for why I'm watching this moment. Why am I cutting back to this story here? Because otherwise it feels pointless. And like you're talking about here, it's basically ruining the rhythm of seeing what's going on with Obi-Wan and Vader, right? Which was such a great fight and has very, very Anakin Ahsoka vibes, right? Down to some very, very specific things in
and
there.
Some very specific visuals too. Yes.
While I was watching, I was like, okay. I mean, this is very exciting to see in live action, but okay, I see what you're doing. But I do think there are some really, really nice moments here. I think a couple of the canon issues that I had were tied up very nicely here, where I went, okay, all right, the writers did know what they were doing. I was a little harsh to judge here, maybe. But I overall had an enjoyable time watching this. I'm excited to see what Rob has to say about it.
Yeah, and you guys, once again, a little bit later this afternoon, Rob and Chris will be doing the open spoiler discussion about Obi-Wan. Anyway, Chris, or Aaron, I should say, you've now finished the series. Mm-hmm. Now that the series is done, what's your general overall impression of the series itself? And then what were your general thoughts on the finale itself?
Oh, I was so happy that this show was ending because I was like, I mean, I'm saying this, if it were not my job, there's no way I would have continued watching this. I was so disappointed. I didn't understand like you said, what the purpose was. And given, who was it that warned Moses Ingram about that she was probably going to face some backlash?
They just said Lucasfilm warned.
Lucasfilm,
yeah.
That's the thing. If you cast an actor who by just who they are as a person, that they are already going to face criticism, why on earth would you not comb through that character meticulously and give them the best dialogue, give them the most structured character, give them such an incredible storyline that there's no room for anyone to say anything negative at all about that character. Instead, you have this award-winning, brilliant young actress who was given mediocre at best dialogue, really seemingly no direction, a backstory that we don't even find out until so late that we don't really care, and then trying to piece together what her motivation for all the things she did just becomes so convoluted. It actually made me angry because I'm like, you knew going in that she was the actress herself was going to be up against it. Why would you not arm her with the very best character you could? No actor could have made anything out of that because the dialogue was just, like I said, barely mediocre. Her backstory was convoluted to piece together. I just didn't, I'm repeating myself at this point because it just makes me so angry. And it actually made me upset because I'm like, I shouldn't have to suffer through 4 episodes to be able to enjoy the finale. I very much enjoy the finale. In fact, as someone, unlike my husband, who like would literally walk around in cosplay every day if it didn't make me want to toss him off the roof. I mean, like he is Mr.
Poor Tom.
Poor Tom. We say that every day in our house. Poor Tom. For our wedding anniversary, I got him a friggin' lightsaber, the kind that even goes meow, and all he does is scare the cats with it now. But like, he's a true fan.
Yes, Tom.
I know. I'm not that fan, but I will say, in this last episode, I got it. I finally was like, this is why people are so geeked out over Star Wars. And it was because of that fight scene and the emotion. And there was a moment in the fight scene, no spoilers, but when Ewan McGregor's character looks at Darth Vader and is so overwhelmed with emotion and sees all of the stuff.
Ewan McGregor throughout the series has been fantastic.
Brilliant.
He's been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. And so I felt it. I finally was like, I can finally relate to my husband for the first time in our entire relationship. But no, seriously. But that's the thing is like, why do I have to watch through all that? Why do I have to get to a point where I'm done with you before you make me love you? Make me love you the whole time.
That's the story of like almost every relationship in my life. So I mean,
Exactly.
Do
But
you feel like it would have been better if it was a movie versus this series?
oh, absolutely.
yeah, it would have. And I feel like justice for Moses, not even justice for Reva. Give Moses a whole new character. I'm done with Reva.
But I'm going to point this out, and I'm going to give you a warning right here. I'm going to go into a spoiler, okay? Big flag. Going to do a spoiler here. You know what, Jonathan? Can you put me into a pip here? Just bring up any Reva picture or whatever.
Oh,
okay.
gotcha.
This is fine too. So as long as this image is up, guys, I'm going to be talking in a spoiler here, okay? So once this image is down, you're free to come back. But I'm going to talk about one quick thing that really bothered me, okay?
Should I leave?
That's yeah, sorry, that's right,
No,
Jonathan.
I can just come hum near you, Jonathan.
It's all in the job description. It's fine.
Here's the thing that really bothered me in this episode. And there are some people who just don't misunderstand an element of Star Wars. I'm not saying they misunderstand Star Wars, but they misunderstand a certain element of Star Wars here. What really drove me crazy, especially in the scene when Reva is getting ready to torture child Leia to get the information she wants, right? Everything in Obi-Wan so far has been vile, self-centered evil, vile, self-centered evil, vile, self-centered evil. And then at the end, she's getting ready to kill this other child. And then, well, this child reminds me of me, so I'm not going to kill the kid. All of a sudden, she's a good guy now. Mm-hmm. All is forgiven. Now, I mentioned this on Twitter, and some people say, well, John, don't you understand that in Star Wars, Darth Vader was also very bad, and he was redeemed at the end. No, he wasn't redeemed. He died. Vader died. And had he not died, he would have been locked up by the New Republic, maybe executed, certainly thrown into the deepest, darkest prison in whatever, because of all the evil he had done. And the thing is, throughout Star Wars, starting in Empire Strikes Back, they started to show us in Empire that Vader had another side, that he impassionately trying to reach Luke. And even in that part after Luke had his hand cut off and he's in the Falcon now flying away, and Luke is like, Father, and Vader's like, Son, and whatever. So we start to see that. Luke senses it too and talks about there is still good in Anakin Skywalker. And that whole becomes a theme throughout all of Return of the Jedi, of Lucas trying to tap into that good side that is still in Anakin. So whereas he doesn't become fully redeemed, but at the end of it, he makes the choice for his son over what his darker path was. And has that one moment. And he died. He's dead. This is not comparable to the Reva situation. The Reva situation is evil, 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 evil. That kid reminds me of me. I'm good now. And then she doesn't die. She's just like, okay, now I'm going to go off and be a champion of justice in the universe. And it's like that all of a sudden out of nowhere, unlike, say, Daenerys in Game of Thrones, which I told people for 4 years, they're clearly showing us she's a jerk and she's turning bad. 4 years we saw that coming. This was like evil, evil, torture children, kill these people, kill those people, whatever. And then, that kid reminds me of me. I'm a good guy now. To me, that was, and I hate it when people say lazy. I hate it. But here it applies. It felt lazy. And it just kind of short-circuited for me what could have been, because of that damn fight scene, a really, truly special finale. But again, that's just me. Okay, we can take down the spoiler thing there now. Now we're back, everybody. Anyway, question is for you. What did you guys think about A, Obi-Wan overall, now that it's in our rearview mirror, and B, what did you think about the finale? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comments section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys, we're now going to open up the super chats for you guys. If you guys have a thought, question, comment, opinion, whatever that you guys would like us to read out, go ahead and start firing those in now, and we will get to those and start reading them once we hear from one more sponsor of today's episode. Ooh, Silky Junk Area, our friends over at MeUndies. We want to thank the sponsor of today's video, MeUndies. Guys, it is summertime, which means you got a lot of great fun plans, but make sure part of those plans is wearing MeUndies, because MeUndies wants to make this summer the most comfortable one that you'll never forget, because when you're living your best life in the summer, the last thing you want to worry about is butt sweat and junk swamp. Listen, when you're feeling comfy and feeling good, you're more present to enjoy all your summer plans. It's like science or something. MeUndies has the lightest and most breathable fabrics to keep you cool and comfortable wherever you go. From undies, bralettes and socks, loungewear and swimwear, you can find something for all of your plans. MeUndies also releases new prints all the time, like their limited edition Pride collection. You can match with your partner, friends, or even your dog. Find your ultimate summer comfort in sizes extra small to 4XL. You guys know I have been wearing MeUndies for a couple of months now, and I will never go back to regular underwear. And right now, MeUndies has a great offer for all the viewers and listeners of the John Campea Show. For any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off. For a limited time, if you sign up for their free-to-join MeUndies membership, you get 25% off your first membership item. So to get 15% off your first order or 25% off your first membership item and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/Campea. That's MeUndies.com/Campea. And thank you to our friends at MeUndies for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Once again, guys, don't forget, when you support our sponsors, you're actually supporting us. So make sure you check out the links down in the description and all the promo codes, and go check our sponsors out. All right, guys. With that down, let's now move on, start taking your live questions. Do me a favor, guys, try not to ask any spoiler questions about Obi-Wan. So, by the way, Ray, do we got any from our members?
Yeah, I actually just got another one. We have two. So, Brittany Howard says, "Hi, John and all. I love you all. I am a bisexual transgender woman. Happy Pride Month to you, Aaron."
Oh, thank you, Brittany. Happy Pride Month to you.
Fuck you. Why not Happy Pride Month to us, too?
Because I'm
Why not for everybody? Why not for everybody?
I'm bisexual.
Shirt on.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That's awesome. Can we get a
Thank you so much for sending that in.
Oh, yeah. Happy Pride to you,
That's
too,
awesome.
Brittany.
Where'd you get that?
All right, what's
What
next?
have you got for me?
Black Bono Lala says, "Hey, guys. John, I'm happy to see you. If they plan another Star Wars TV show, which characters would you like to see?"
It doesn't matter. It's the same thing about the thing. All that matters is, do you write a great story? Because you can take one of the greatest characters in all of Star Wars, Obi-Wan. That didn't make it a good show.
I want that droid. He didn't get enough time in the series. That big droid.
Yeah.
Oh, the lifter
I
droid.
like the way that thing looked. That's
Hey
why
man, I want K2SO. I want K2SO. And the new that new series looks really good. I would love to see a Dr. Aphra series. I mean, that would be badass. But I mean, again, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what character they pick. If they don't write it great, it won't really matter.
And like even what someone mentioned, a what if series for Star Wars would be really cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, I never thought of that. That would be interesting too.
Like, you know, just take things that maybe, I don't know.
What
Yeah,
if
Rob and I
Palpatine
talked about
didn't
that.
turn bad? Could he have been the greatest chancellor in the history of the Republic?
Yeah.
What
you
if
could
we
go all
actually
over the
did
place.
Darth Jar Jar?
What if Tatooine wasn't so sandy?
Everyone would be so happy.
It's a beach resort. All right, what's next?
All right, from Tamer, $20 super chat. Oh, that was from yesterday, but thank you, Tamer. We appreciate you. A-Chap sending in support, and then TJ Thomas. John, the point of the Obi-Wan show was to be fan fiction. There was never an overall plan. The show was created just to have Obi-Wan back in live action canon be damned.
Well, I mean, if that's true, TJ.
I think that's sarcasm. It's
Okay,
gotta be.
I hope that's sarcasm, because if that were true, then they're pretty damn stupid. if that's true, but hopefully you're being sarcastic, because just throwing some up to be just stupid fan fiction. Like, they had years to make this show. Years and years and years to make this show. So
An unlimited budget and unlimited resources and unlimited talent. There's no excuse.
all right, what's next?
Give me 1 second, because let's see.
Oh, we had a little bit of a jump.
There you
Okay.
go.
From Ben Rayner, I love the subjectivity of movies and art. I love Obi-Wan, and Ms. Marvel is just okay. And you guys are the complete opposite. And that's what's okay. That's okay. Finale was amazing for Obi-Wan for me. 5 out of 5.
I mean, and again, that is the great thing about the art. Like some people say, man, it's, art is subjective, and they say that as if it's like, that's a bad thing. The subjectivity of art, particularly movies and TV shows and stuff like that, that is the most beautiful thing about it. Because you can have people like me who is like, Obi-Wan was all right. But to some other people who watch it, they're like, it made their day. They were engaged and entertained, and that's the beautiful thing about art. That just because something didn't work for somebody else doesn't mean it can't work for you. So I agree with you, man. That's great, and I love that you loved it. All right, what's next?
From Amin, even with the issues, I still enjoyed the show quite a bit. But I think if it was just a 2 or 2.5 hour film, it would have been fantastic.
Oh my God, yes. This, if you wanted to do this, a 2 hour and 15-minute movie even would have been so much more effective.
Yeah.
So much more effective. I 100% agree with you, man. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, viewers, John, when is thoughts on walks coming back? John, may I offer you fireside chat? Love it, Mr. C. All you're missing is a robe, a cigar in one hand, and an ice glass of Sevilla in the other.
Yeah, so
We don't mention that brand
I
here.
used to do these videos called Thoughts on Walks, because I had a great area to walk around in my old neighborhood, and I don't really have that same kind of an area, although I do have some great hiking areas around. But I realized I sit by my fire every night writing show notes. So I just started recording some random editorials from back there. I thought, it's called Fireside Chat. So yes, Fireside Chat has replaced Thoughts on Walks. So that's what they're going to be called from now on. Thanks for pointing that out, dude. All right, what's next?
From Kara Black, I overall enjoyed the Obi-Wan series, but it could have been better. I wasn't a fan of the directing and writing. Speaks in Vader's voice. Deborah Chow and Joby Harold have failed us for the last time, John. I can't do James Earl Jones. I'm sorry.
Again,
I know.
I don't think Obi-Wan was a failure. Like, I didn't hate it. Like I said, if there was an episode 7 next week, I'd watch it. But it underwhelmed. And especially with how good Deborah Chow did in The Mandalorian, I was really looking for better. So, but hey, it is what it is. All right, what's next?
Ryan Launer, I just rewatched a big favorite of mine, Ed Wood. Oh, yes. We need more movies like this, showing there's something admirable in taking big risks for your vision, even if you're not any good at it.
I mean, there is a movie coming out with Mark Rylance, where there's a movie coming out with Mark Rylance, where I guess is based on a true story, where he was like a past middle-aged guy who just decided to take up golf and went and somehow, some way qualified for like the British Open or something like that. And it's like the history of the worst golfer in the world or whatever. I saw the trailer for this and I'm like, oh my God, this looks so charming and endearing, like shooting big for even when you're limited in what you can do with it. Reminds me a lot of Eddie the Eagle as well.
Great movie.
So
underrated.
yeah, I do like stories like that, man. All right, what's next?
From Elizabeth Arado. So my Latina mom, who has zero interest in superhero content, talked her into watching Ms. Marvel, and she loves it. She describes as Kim's Convenience mixed with superpowers with a Pakistani family. Oh, that's a great description.
Yeah, it's that. It's also, what did I said? I described it before as if John Hughes directed My Big Fat Greek Wedding crossed with Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
That's kind of only far more endearing characters. Although the characters in My Big Fat Greek Wedding are pretty damn endearing. I can't get over how much love I have in my heart for this show. I just so enjoy watching it. It breaks my, and I watch it. Anne is always in bed by the time I watch it, but I watch it and then I get to watch it again the next day because Anne has to watch it. And so I get to watch it twice. It's great. I'm glad your mom enjoyed it. I'm glad she enjoyed it. All right, what's next?
From FangBlaze71, what is your guys' most anticipated MCU Phase 5 project? Right now, mine has to be Shang-Chi 2.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know what's going to be in Phase 5.
Yeah.
I mean, the people say, what's your most anticipated 2023 movie? It's like, honestly, I don't know dates. I have no idea I'd have to sit down and actually look at something to know. But obviously, Shang-Chi to me is the best Marvel movie in the past number of years. I love that movie. So clearly, I'd be super looking forward to Shang-Chi 2. But have they even said Shang-Chi 2 is
It's a
a
tongue
part
twister, right?
of Phase 5?
Shang-Chi
Have they even said that?
I don't know if they've officially stated. So
They might have, and I just might be
obviously
forgetting.
we're going to get a sequel because that movie did so well and is fantastic.
Yeah.
I would feel like they would already have to be starting pre-production on it to, because that's a big movie.
But here's the thing. They have like 9 projects going right now.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Who knows when I mean, again, part of the problem at Marvel right now is I think they're producing too much content, to be honest with you. But anyway, all right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, my prediction of Reva confrontation. Check.
Can't remember what your prediction was, but I think probably a lot of people did.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher. Chris, hi. The 3 Avatar movies will likely be a Kyoshi movie in 2024, then Zuko movie in 2025, and then a Korra movie in 2026. Likely adapting the first Kyoshi novel and then the Search and Turf Wars comics. I agree with you, Sam Fisher. I think that's exactly what we're going to have happen. Avatar Kyoshi is dope. If you're into the Avatar universe, you should definitely read those novels. And the comics are amazing. Learning about Zuko's mom, that's what we all wanted.
By the way, I was late to the party. It was during COVID that I finally watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. Quite enjoyed it.
It's so cute.
So I went on and watched Avatar: The Legend of Korra. Did not love that.
I think it has moments of brilliance, and I do love the progression of technology in it, with the Fire Nation now opening up their services to others. I don't like how all of a sudden lightning benders are blue-collar workers. I find that very interesting. But it's so prestigious in the first one, right? But I understand that criticism.
All right, what's next?
From Joel. Hey, John and crew. Did you guys see the disclaimer released for the Herogasm episode of The Boys? It makes me more excited to see it, and I can't wait.
No, I've
Google
not
that.
seen the disclaimer, but we all know what's coming. This could be the most bonkers episode of television in history.
Really? More bonkers than what we've already seen?
Yeah.
Okay.
It says that it's not suitable for any audience.
Is that what the disclaimer is? Read the disclaimer. What does it actually say?
Just the headline that I brought here is, this is the only footage legal would approve to show you ahead of time for Herogasm. Let's see how long this is. It's
But
28 seconds. This week on The Boys. This episode depicts a massive soup orgy, airborne penetration, dildo-based maiming, extra strength lube, icicle phalluses, and cursing. It is not suitable for any audience.
Not suitable. That is the greatest
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever read.
warning ever. This is not suitable for any audience. I love
I
that.
saw something about how Paul Reiser's son had to explain to him that the show had to explain the show to him, and that it was not supposed to be really suitable. It was supposed to offend everyone. I forget. Just look it up. Paul Reiser.
Paul
you'll find
Reiser's
it.
stuff was great on that. He was great as the
the
legend.
legend?
Yeah.
Apparently, his son was key in getting him to be part of it.
Ray?
I got a shout out to Anthony Alvernez in the chat. He told me to check out Friday of 40X screenings, and there is some at Ontario. So
You one up me. Here I'm going to Dolby
Yeah,
Cinema.
so
You're
they-
going to 40X on Friday.
they
I
are.
think Anne wants to take Olive too, so maybe check
Oh
with her.
yeah. That's what I should do. But yeah, I guess it's just Fridays that they're putting it in the 40X theater.
All right.
Ooh,
Well, now that John has volunteered to be my babysitter whenever I want to go on a date night and
Yeah.
way out in Ontario, maybe I'll join you.
All right. What's next?
From Ron Fraser. Ari Obi-Wan spoiler. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, oh my God. Look, they just made so many mistakes with the Reva character. And I got into a discussion with, I'll qualify them as a moron. I got into a discussion with a moron that said, well, that's what happens when you try to force diversity into something.
Oh,
I'm like,
geez. No.
okay.
No.
First of all,
Wrong.
Dixit, listen,
Oh gosh.
this, if the Reva character had been white male, it wouldn't have made it any better.
Still would have sucked.
If the character was a bad character, this whole brain dead moron verbal puke of, oh, it's about to force diversity. Yeah. No, it was a bad character. We've had many bad characters. of many different colors and most of them straight white. But I mean, just by saying that, so by saying that, you are suggesting that if the Reva character had been a white male, that would have solved the problems. It would have been just as bad. It would have been just as bad. So just shut up. All right. Anyway, what's next?
From Kara Black, how did you feel about Hayden's performance in the show, John?
There wasn't a lot for him to do. I mean, really, the most there was for him to do really was the flashback scene, which I thought was really fun. I like the flashback scene. A little pointless. Like, it didn't give us a lot of revelation to make it more applicable. Like, a lot of times when there's a flashback in a show, it's meant to give information that gives us more construct to the current context. That one didn't really do that so much, but still, I thought that was the one scene he really had an opportunity to do something. So he was fine. Good
Did
Canadian
they
kid.
CGI him to look younger?
No.
In the flashback, they might have a little
They
bit.
said that they didn't do any de-aging technology on it. 'Cause
Really?
That was a point of
Oh.
contention in the open discussion that we all had, where I was like, I'm fine with that. It kind of freaks me out when they de-age people. And everyone
Yeah.
else was like, Chris, it took me out of it. You're wrong and I hate you. And I
Right,
was
because
like,
he
I'm
clearly
sorry.
looked a little bit older.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
didn't,
was like,
I didn't
well,
even notice.
That's how the progression of time works.
It's like, damn, he looks good.
He
Yeah.
does.
He
yeah.
looks really good.
He does. Good
All right,
for
what's
him.
next?
Handsome man. Rage, the promised end. Reva should have stayed evil. She was shortchanged. Well, she's not. We'll get into this.
We're not going to
We'll
go
get
into it too
this.
much. All right, what's next?
Sam Fisher, Chris, that 3 voices rule, is it 3 voices per episode or 3 voices for the whole series? Oh, this is a great question, Sam. This is about how you get paid either a flat rate, like one rate during SAG animation projects, or if you voice 3 characters, you get paid more money going on from that. That is per session, Sam. So it doesn't mean episode or character specifically, right? If you're doing 3 characters in a session, you're making more money. So you might voice 16 characters over animated series, but if you're only doing 1 person in that session, you only get that pay rate that day, typically, unless you're able to negotiate.
Very interesting info. All right, what's next?
From Senor Film, what song is saving you from Vecna? For me, it's Sweet Child of Mine.
Where the Streets Have No Name.
Ooh.
Yeah, U2's Where the Streets Have No Name. Although maybe Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi now.
I don't know.
That's a really good question, by the way.
Oh, man.
What song is saving you from
I was going
Vecna?
to say, I don't know what I've been listening to enough that would do that for me. I've been listening to a lot of Mr. Wives, maybe one of their songs.
Carry On My Wayward Son.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Tiny Dancer. That's what I would do.
You mean Tony Danza?
It's
How dare
actually
you.
Tommy
Tony
Degnan.
Danza.
I hate everyone here.
All right, what's next?
From Josh Kahn. Bold prediction of the weekend. Top Gun retakes #1 at the box office. Here in Boise, it's going back into the IMAX and other premium theaters like 4DX. With it holds, I see it back at top 30 million plus.
Hi,
I mean-
Boise.
Because here's the reality. Like, as much fun as I had with Elvis, it's not going to be we always knew that Elvis was not going to be a huge blockbuster, right? So that's fine. Black Phone is not going to be a huge blockbuster. So I could see Jurassic World dropping enough that theoretically Top Gun could be the #1 film at the box office again. It absolutely could be, right?
Thanks for telling me about Anne and Olive, because we just got 3 tickets on Friday for 40
That was fast.
Wow.
So there
They move
is
quickly.
it, Mr. Cruz. I gave you some more money.
I should have held out, man.
That right there
That's
is
going to
put
push
it
it
over
back to the
top.
#1
Yeah.
spot. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, really liked episodes 2 and 3 of Ms. Marvel. Like episode 2 more, but still both really great.
I have just loved all 3 episodes. I'm getting more and more into this. It's giving me more and more joy every time. The character, I just fall more and more in love with her. I'm really starting to like the Nakia character.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh,
He's great.
Law and
And
Order Stan.
Bruno.
You mean Brian?
poor you mean Brian?
So disrespectful.
He's so intentionally telling me that. That's actually a really good running gag in there. I'm
Yeah.
just loving it, man. All right, what's next?
From Attack of the Mushi, I've missed you guys. We missed you too, Mushi. I saw the bad guys in Lightyear yesterday. I also proposed to my partner.
Wow.
She said yes.
Yay!
How did you guys pop the question? Aw.
Mine is the most unromantic of stories. I never did.
What the hell?
She just showed up one day with a wedding gown on and said, "Let's go."
No. It's really weird. Like with Anne and I, there was never a proposal. It just we started talking about the fact that we saw us with each other long term? And then that discussion just kind of progressed over time. And then, okay, you know, if we were to get married, what, like, how far down the road do you think it would be? It would probably be around here. Then that turned into, so we're probably going to be targeting that for when we get married. Yeah. And then as we got closer to that date, we start making arrangements for the wedding. Yeah, blah, blah. There was never like really a moment where we get, shall we get married? It just kind of evolved. And then we were there getting married.
Mine was romantic AF. What about you? Mary?
Same. I had told Tom a story about how when I was little, my dad, if it was like a really big Christmas present, like a bicycle or like something a little extra, he would send me on a scavenger hunt around the house with like little clues. And so for the proposal, Tom actually sent me on a scavenger hunt around Manhattan to all of our favorite haunts. And then the final, at each step, there was a clue to the next step. And I met him beside Bethesda Fountain under a weeping willow tree, which is a new place for us. And that's where he proposed.
Oh, I love that. That's very cute.
I got lost and totally screwed up the entire proposal and threw the entire schedule off by an hour and a half. And I had 13 blisters on my feet. But overall, it was amazing.
Logan would ask me to marry him every single month. When we were dating, every single month on the 8th, he would ask me if I wanted to marry him.
He asked you to marry him even before you guys started dating.
This is very true.
Yeah.
And each time I'd be like, no, what's wrong with you? And so finally, when I had finally told him, like, I loved him back, I said, I love you the first time. It was in an airport parking lot. Very romantic. And so he didn't propose to me on the 8th of that month. And I just kind of like didn't really pay attention. He took me to the airport because he said we had to go get his brother. I was in a very bad mood because I was like, we're so late. You're so disrespectful of your brother's time. You're such a jerk. We get to the airport and we get out and he's like, hey, do you know where we are? I was like, the airport parking lot, you idiot. He's like, this is the airport parking lot though, where you said, I love you for the first time to me. And all I wanted to do was get down on one knee and he started doing it. And I was like, no, it's happening. It's such a bitch. And then I said yes to him.
I
for the first
love
time.
Logan.
He's the best. And then we got laid off from our jobs 30 minutes later.
That sounds less romantic and more like wearing your victim down over time. But still.
Logan always calls it courting, and I called it stalking.
Yep.
See, guys? It can work.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
From Kyle Wong, sitting in a $22 super
Oh,
chat.
thank you, Kyle.
Hi, gang. Why is Netflix's Stranger Things writing and script really good, but Disney Star Wars writing is struggling, to put it mildly? I would have thought Disney has FU money and could afford the best writers.
It's not about hiring the best writers. Look, when you look at something like Stranger Things, which, by the way, the final 2 episodes of Stranger Things are going to be longer than the entire series of Obi-Wan. But they decided that they were going to write a real story that has multiple characters with multiple backgrounds and multiple motivations, with subplots and interconnecting storylines and all that kind of stuff. A really full, fleshed out story. With a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, I'm not even just going to say Star Wars, with a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, not all of it, it just feels like, how can we commoditize this as quickly and churn it out as quickly and as cost effectively as possible? Short, 30 to 40 minutes, not counting credit, episodes, 6 episodes. You know, if it's called Loki, just make it about Loki and just tell this one idea and then end it and move on. Whereas something like Umbrella Academy, something like The Boys, something like Stranger Things, or into quote unquote real TV shows like Succession or Yellowstone or things like that, that decide that, hey, if we're going to tell a story in a TV show format, let's tell a fully fleshed out narrative with multiple multi-dimensional characters that all have their own existence and motivations, that all lead through a consistent storyline. And the Disney Plus shows just don't do that. And sometimes they can still be great, like WandaVision, Ms. Marvel, but the overall premise and the overall conceit of it, of just limit it as much as possible, make it as short as possible, and just crank it out the door, that means more stuff than not is going to be unremarkable. But man, they're killing it with Stranger Things.
Well, I also think that there's something about the reason why I was so passionate earlier, and the thing that makes me angry is that it feels like they take the fan base for granted. There's just an assumption that the fan base is going to be there. And for the first time in history, you know, there's so much content that shows that do not have the same kind of built-in fan base that Star Wars does they have to compete. They have to really, have great, compelling storylines, because otherwise people are just going to change the channel, to use one of those archaic terms. And so you used the term lazy earlier. To me, it just feels a little entitled. Like, we know that our fan base is going to be there. We know that they're going to watch, no matter how whether it's as compelling as a Peaky Blinders or a Stranger Things or any of these other, if you're not familiar with the comics of The Boys, it doesn't matter. You can still come in as a new viewer. Some people had commented, well, why would Erin want to watch Obi-Wan if she wasn't already familiar with the character? Because that's what every show that has a built-in fan base should be doing. It should constantly be looking for new fans. You can't just rely on people that have the nostalgia of seeing the first movie in the theater. You have to be able to constantly create new fans with your new product. And I don't feel like Obi-Wan was doing that. I feel like they were just relying on, well, people are going to watch it because it's Obi-Wan. Well, what about the people that aren't already in love with Obi-Wan?
What about people who this is going to be their entry point into Star Wars on the Disney Plus platform? Yeah, and it's just, again, it's a philosophy that can crank out some wins, but it's cranking out less than remarkable results than it's cranking out the big wins. So I don't know. We'll see how it all evolves. All right, what's next?
From Victor, have you followed the final season of Better Call Saul so far? That mid-season finale was shockingly good.
I'm still not past season 3.
I've never watched this show.
Never.
It's the funny thing is, I watched the first couple of seasons and I really enjoyed it. So I don't have an explanation why I didn't continue on with it. I just thought, the one season ended and then I fell off the show. And then when it started back up again, I just never got back onto it. So I need to at some point. But I hear a number of people saying it's better than Breaking Bad. That it's better.
Do I
than the
need to
original.
have seen all of Breaking Bad in order to be able to fully?
Nope, I don't think
Okay.
so.
So I can just jump into Better Call Saul.
I think you'll have a broader context of nuance if you do watch Breaking Bad first, but I think you can jump right into Better Call Saul and you probably enjoy it for what it is. All right, what's next?
From Rafael Castillo, my issue with Riva is that she wasn't an interesting, compelling character and her redemption was flat, empty.
There was no redemption.
Yeah.
It was a momentary, this kid reminds me of me. That's it. Again, going back to Vader starts in Empire Strikes Back. You start to see that other side of Vader all the way back in Empire Strikes Back, and then becomes the entire theme of Return of the Jedi. Whereas this was like, that kid reminds me of me. And then they moved on. Anyway. All right, what's next?
From Guillaume Lebel, hey, John and gang, gonna see Paul
Verhoeven.
Thank you. Classic RoboCop on the big screen tonight.
Nice.
The director's cut is currently screening in Cineplex theaters. Love it when I get to rewatch classics in a movie theater.
Listen, Guillaume, I love it when classic movies I love get put back on the big screen. I mean, not a lot of people go to them. Re-releases very rarely do very well. But still, I love it. I'll go, Ann and I will go watch Princess Bride every year or things like that.
Movie.
Whenever the original Jurassic Park comes out on the big screen again, always check those out. So that is great. I've never heard about RoboCop coming back to the big screen. That's a good one to do, man. Hope you have a good time. All right, what's next?
We got to do Raymond.
Yeah, Raymond. Mark Hamill tweeted that the holiday special should be pardoned. Yay, Grogu and Leia special. Luke just blew off your opinion, John.
I mean, the holiday special, everybody knows about the holiday special. Most people have never watched it. It is hard to put into words how truly awful it is. I mean, you watch it and you're like, I've never met anybody who didn't watch it and immediately thought, what the living F were they thinking making this thing?
They did a lot of cocaine.
A lot
They
of
did
cocaine.
all the cocaine.
Life Day. I mean, it is one of the most profoundly confusing things ever. And I get it. George Lucas was some starving film student kid. All of a sudden, has got a big hit movie, has networks saying, let's do this now. And you're rolling with it. I get it. That's fine. I get it. But it is truly, if you've never watched the holiday special, do it once and you will understand the confusion about how did this even ever come to be.
It's so bad.
Like the Leave It to Beaver, like Wookiee home. Like what? And the smile on the kid is the stuff of nightmares. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, not going to lie, I fast forwarded to the big fight. That's fair.
And you know what? That's fine. I mean, for a lot of people, the Phantom Menace is nothing more than pod race. Okay, opening battle on the Nemoidian ship, pod race, Darth Maul fight. That's it. And to a lot of people, that's the Phantom Menace. So I get it. If you just fast forwarded to it, that's pretty much worthwhile. All right.
I usually
what's next?
just get to the part where he goes, "Are you an angel?" And I just watch that like 20 times.
Are you an angel?
Like 20 times?
Yeah.
Like 20.
Oh my God. I so badly want to hear Thor ask Natalie Portman that in Thor Love and Thunder.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you an angel?
Have her just smack
And
him.
then smack him. Just smack him.
dare
All right.
you.
What's next?
Sam Fisher. John, what about Cat Grudge in Star Trek Discovery? She is a queen. Do you hate that cat?
Oh, the cat,
The cat
grudge.
grudge, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who has a cat grudge? You're talking about his cat named Grudge. Yeah, it's a useless.
Why
ball
are you
of
even
trash.
giving? No, stop. Just, no. I'm sorry. I know it's the John Campea show, but why are we even giving him air to talk about his hatred for the most beautiful, loving, goddess-like Egyptian creatures on the planet? Don't even ask him these questions.
I believe someone once said on this show, we talk about the things we love.
Yeah, we love cats.
I
We love cats. I have
didn't
4 of
create
them. One
a
of them has
segment
no teeth,
called
no ears,
Let's
and 3
talk
legs.
about cats. I was just asked by a viewer about that. No, the
Ask me
the
about
cat is
cats. If you
ridiculous.
want to spend some money on the John Campea show and you want to talk about cats, ask me.
To quote Ron Swanson, cats are pointless. All right.
Oh,
What's next?
Wow. Go pet a tiger.
From Raymond, will Mr. Kim go after Vader if he lived?
Huh?
Oh, because Mr.
Are
Kim
you talking
is
about the
put-
actor
yeah.
who plays the X-Wing
Yeah.
pilot? I mean, I suppose there's a narrative in there somewhere. All right, what's next?
From King Tannic, live action Star Wars rankings post Obi-Wan. 1, Empire. 2, Sith. 3, A New Hope. 4, Last Jedi. 5, Return of the Jedi. 6, Solo. 7, Mando. 8, Force Awakens. 9, Rogue One. 10, Kenobi. 11, Boba. 12, Attack of the Clones. 13, the Phantom Menace. 14, Rise of Skywalker.
I respect that you have your own personal listing of things. I'll just leave it at that. All right, what's next?
From Stubble McShave, the second act of Obi-Wan, episode 2 through 5, was underdeveloped.
The whole series was underdeveloped. The whole show was underdeveloped. It's a great concept, and then they didn't do anything with it. And that's the most disappointing part about it altogether. All right, what's next?
From Paul Nolan, I saw The Black Phone. Amazing.
It's incredible.
Yes.
It's listen, movies, I always say, are experiential events. Black Phone, Aaron will testify. If nothing, you walk out and say you had an experience.
Oh, yeah.
It delivers an experience. It's a Blumhouse movie.
Yeah,
It delivers.
Yeah, it is really well crafted. It is terrifying. Yeah. I mean, and just the way that it all just comes together is it's kind of a perfect horror movie. Horror thriller. I mean, would this fall into a horror category?
I'd say it's fair to qualify it as horror as well. Horror and thriller.
Yeah,
Handsome Hawk is so good in this movie.
Oh, he's phenomenal in the movie, and it is and it's absolute. And I love the fact that they were able to combine the nostalgia of being a kid in the 80s or 70s, early 80s, with just the horror of, it's terrifying.
Okay, guys, we're starting to run out of time. We still have a bunch of questions to go, so we're going to start picking up the pace here a little bit. All right, what's next?
From King Play 71, honestly kind of worried about all the upcoming Star Wars shows after how mediocre Boba Fett and Kenobi are.
Remember, the next one up is Mandalorian Season 3. And if Mandalorian Season 3 can pick up the magic where we left off, then all will be right in the world again, and we'll go from there. All right, what's next?
From Raymond 2000, this Saturday marks 13 years since the death of Michael Jackson, and I want to recommend an underrated short film of his, Ghost. It's amazing.
It's funny that you mentioned that because we came out of watching Elvis, and of course little Lisa Marie's in there, who of course married Michael Jackson. A lot of people forgot about, but yeah, 13 years. I hadn't even thought about that. That's wild. All right, what's next?
From Sebastian Gomez, John, give us a quick rant on why Ewoks are great.
No, I'm not. We're running out of time. We don't have things, but I do have a video up called "F.U. I Love the Ewoks." It is doctrine. Go check that out. All right, what's next?
From Jay Master, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Jay Master.
To the Batman Beyond team, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is now streaming on Disney Plus with IMAX Enhanced. Also, did anyone cry during the final scene before the credits? Because I myself cry a lot. in Doctor Strange?
I've seen the movie 3 times. I can't remember what the final scene is,
I
to be
don't
honest with you.
I didn't cry ever in
What
Doctor
happened?
Strange.
But it's wild that it is now on Disney Plus. It's out there now. I'm going to watch it again. I mean, to me, it's not top tier Marvel, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good little
fun.
film.
Wasn't it the scene with Rachel McAdams? Didn't they have that one little
Oh.
thing at the end? That's the only thing I
Probably.
can think of.
Probably
Is
that.
there a scene with Rachel McAdams?
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, where it's
Because
the two
he-
of them being like, I
Yeah.
could have loved
Oh, yeah.
It was cute.
Rachel
that was
McAdams
all
wearing a
just-
wedding dress and drinking red wine.
So unbelievable.
She has surgeon hands. She has
She's so
surgeon
steady.
hands. If anybody's going to keep that dress clean, it's her.
Wow. So unbelievable. Everything else I can buy, but red wine on your wedding day? Come on.
All right, what's next?
From Casey Mack. Finished Obi-Wan, caught up on Ms. Marvel now. I will need to dig into Umbrella Academy. Episode 1 is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a busy weekend ahead of me, but as soon as the weekend's done, you guys know how much I love this show. Umbrella Academy is so next level. I love this show. Can't wait to start watching it.
You are going to adore the first 5 minutes.
Oh, I can't
I'm so
wait.
hyped.
All right, what's next?
From Harry, you guys have to check out The Old Man on FX Hulu. It's the TV debut of 7-time Academy Award nominated Jeff Bridges playing opposite the great John Lithgow and directed by John Watts.
Wow.
It's sensational.
You know, it's funny. I actually got on Twitter this week and I wrote, because I noticed the first 2 episodes had dropped because it's on Hulu. And I put out, I say, hey guys, is anybody watching The Old Man yet? If so, is it worth checking out? I didn't get a lot of responses.
That last super chat makes sense now because he meant Obi-Wan, the final scene of Obi-Wan making him cry.
Oh.
So now it makes sense.
Okay.
That makes a
Yeah,
little bit
I
more
can
sense.
understand that. That got me emotional.
But back to Jeff Bridges. I mean, I'll check anything with Jeff Bridges out. And Jonathan Lithgow, are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
And
The
John Watts
Trinity
is a
Killer?
brilliant director.
Mm-hmm.
And John Watts is just showing what he can do. So, I mean, I do plan on checking it out. I hope it's better than The Outer Range because Outer Range to me started strong
Yeah.
and then it was a long boat trip to nowhere. So hopefully The Old Man is better than that. All right, what's next?
From H. Christopher Conrad. Hey, from Halifax,
Nova Scotia. That's where I was born.
Aw. Frasier 2022 trailer dropped recently, and it
I
is
did not know
genius.
that.
It is a style of a serious dramatic thriller, but the cast gives a discreet, knowing look to camera. Thoughts?
I
There's
did
a new
not know
Frasier?
that they had dropped a trailer for it. Yeah,
As in
we've
soft salads and scrambled eggs?
Yeah, we talked a lot on this show actually about the fact that they were going to be doing a relaunch of Frasier and all that kind of stuff. I did not know a new trailer. I'm looking forward to that. I love Kelsey Grammer in that role. So yeah, I'm down for that, but I have not seen the trailer yet. So thank you for putting that on my radar. I appreciate that. All right, what's next?
From Christopher Mendez. Have Joey Bishop and Gimli ever met? If not, it needs to happen. And yes, reaction videos of Aaron and Chris watching horror movies is a must. Our babies have not met.
They haven't met, but I think that they need to. We need to have
They
a
need
play
to.
date soon.
Yeah. Gimli and her would get along great. Trico's a wild card. He likes to bite dogs' faces at the dog park.
Yeah, Joey is retired. She doesn't really have a lot of, dog energy.
Yeah.
She has just, as my friend said, I like your dog. I want to get one like that, a half dead one.
Joe,
He's
it's
just so
funny. You
zen.
got to understand, like when Joey comes over to my house, it's like I'll come around the corner to the front door. It's like, hey, Joey. Joey will look up, put her head back down, walk over to me, look back up again, and then just roll onto her back and expose the belly. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the Joey
Give me the
maneuver.
belly rubs.
That's what Gimli does too.
Oh, I love Joey.
they're doing great.
All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw, Orcs versus Ewoks. Who wins?
Oh, Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Ewoks. They can take down the Empire. They can take out orcs.
And they'll
in an
kill you to
ambush.
death.
And then
Ewok-
they'll eat them. They'll
He
eat
walks in
them
an
all.
ambush, but if they line up in formation, orcs.
Also,
Yes.
Orcs,
Yes.
specifically, again, if we have Urukai, they love machinery, and they would have much more high-tech weaponry than the Ewoks.
But
I
they
think
wouldn't have
could
more
do-
high-tech weaponry than stormtroopers.
I think they do well. I think they do well.
All right. They even fight straight up in an open battlefield, as Jonathan was saying. Yes. But to throw orcs on the forest moon of
pick 'em,
Endor,
eat 'em.
they're done. They're absolutely done. They are destined to be dinner. All right. What's next?
From Sam Fisher, want to let you know, John, that I am starting a new job on Monday for 8 weeks where I have no service, but I will be watching the videos, the video on demand.
The VODs afterwards. Well, listen, it's always exciting starting a new job. Whether it's, self-employed or working for somebody else, where it's always exciting. Congratulations on that, Sam. I hope it goes really well for you, dude. All right, what's next?
From Jin the Jedi, just in, Marvel has created an LLC called 4 Vibes Productions. Called it for months now. F4 will be announced on for May 2024 at D23 later this year. Fantastic Four, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, 2024, I mean, I've said for a long time, that's completely within reason. I mean, the 2023 date is, somebody brought up on the show previously that 2023 is when it could come out. I said, that's a very, very hard stretch. I mean, maybe towards the end of the year, 2024 seems more likely. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've got their new director now lined up. They just haven't announced it yet. I'm sure they've got their cast. They just haven't announced it yet. But 2024, that seems totally reasonable, man. I agree. All right, what's next?
From Jake Lockley. Hey, John and crew. I've been feeling kind of bad that I haven't been keeping up with the John Campea Show because of school and finals.
Dude, it's called life,
Fine.
man.
You're fine.
It's called life. It's totally okay.
Thankfully, Friday is my last day of freshman year. Thanks for sticking with me. You're good, Jake.
Yeah. Focus on the school. You're good. We'll be here. We'll be here.
Yeah. We are here to entertain and to help you through doing that stuff. That stuff is clearly your priority.
Yeah.
100%. But it's great to have you here regardless, man. And congratulations on getting to the end of that journey, man. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw, looking forward to Batman Beyond and Star Trek crew tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right, because I'm not here tomorrow. I'm going to be off at VidCon tomorrow, so it will be the Batman Beyond crew tomorrow. All right, what's next?
The Beyond crew.
From Bucko. As a former seminary student, I'm sure you remember the story of Saul. He didn't die. He just decided to change his life and eventually become the Apostle Paul.
Well, yeah, of course, but Saul also had his road to Damascus. I mean, so the Saul scenario, I mean, there have been so many, as Robert often points out, most of the great Hollywood epics and stories were all either loosely or directly based on biblical stories. And the story of Saul and the conversion on the road to Damascus has been kind of the cornerstone for a lot of redemption arcs for a lot of different characters along the way. Of course, there are some big fundamental differences between that and a lot of things we've seen. But yes, that is a pivotal story that's been used by a lot of storytellers in Hollywood as kind of their archetype. All right, what's next?
From Quintanic. I'm the total opposite of Aaron on this. I loved the finale of Obi-Wan, but if I wasn't such an MCU fanatic, I probably wouldn't tune in to the next episode of Ms. Marvel. It's fine, but not must watch.
I mean, look,
Interesting.
Ben wrote that in earlier too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the great thing about art. I fully expect there are going to be a lot of people that loved Obi-Wan and are okay with Ms. Marvel. And there's going to be a bunch of people that love Ms. Marvel and were okay with Obi-Wan. I mean, that's the great thing about it. All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher. John, what about the cat? Oh, we've done this one. The cat grudge Star Trek.
We've moved on from that.
The Pimps of Vegas.
Just to remind everybody, cats are useless.
Awesome.
All right, next up.
The Pimps of Vegas.
That's a callback to yesterday.
There are a lot of impossible things in Top Gun 2, but one of the most impossible things is that every millennial in the bar knew the words to Great Balls of Fire.
True.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah.
I
Also, I don't know if I was telling you guys about. I saw this great. There's a lawyer YouTuber who talks about a lot of stuff, right? And he said he brought on an actual JAG lawyer, and they talked about certain things that happened in the Top Gun movie. And the one guy was, where Maverick literally steals the plane to show that he can do it. Yeah, that's a death sentence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's tried, immediately court-martialed, and probably getting the death sentence for high treason. So it's like, so certain things are a little bit unrealistic in the movie.
Okay, so when I said earlier that every single thing in the movie is something that actually happens, okay, maybe it happens, but you might get killed for
But
it.
it's plausible. Everything in the movie is plausible.
It wasn't CGI is what I mean.
All right, what's next?
From the Robo Producer. Kenobi finale. 4 out of 5 nerf herders. Amazing lightsaber duel, but wanted Vader saying, Obi, I have the high ground. Wanted some of the OG music.
Okay, we
got
won't go
it.
into specific detail, but come on. That was, you know what? Okay, it was a missed opportunity that they did not say, I now have the high ground. But good on you for not doing that, because that would have been really bad.
We all thought it.
Yeah, but everybody thought it, so they didn't need to say it.
Exactly.
They
It
didn't
happened
say it.
and you went,
I will say, I did notice the Obi-Wan theme during the credits because we thought something would come on. So it's a good song. I mean, it's a good score.
Yeah. But no post-credit scene. I was really surprised. I was surprised by
There
that.
is
It really was.
OG music in it. Or did they want original music? Did
I think it was
misread that?
original,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw. Don't you dare disrespect America's dad, John. He is always likable. Say it ain't so.
Listen, he's so good. He becomes very unlikable. Talking about Tom Hanks in Elvis playing the Colonel. Whoo! By the end of that movie, you just want to kill that son of a bitch.
So
I mean, it's so good. Again, I see Oscar nominations in their futures. All right, what's next?
From TJ Thomas. So are we getting more Obi-Wan adventures? Feel like that's the setup.
They can theoretically. Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen just both recently publicly said, I mean, we would love it if they did another thing of it. I'll be honest with you, I'll pass. I really don't feel any desire to see another one. But again, if they do, I'd probably watch it. All right, what's next?
From Caitlin Eccles, watching you guys on my birthday.
Happy
birthday!
Oh, yay! Love the show, John. Hello, Aaron and Chris. Hi. Love when you both are on together. We do too.
Hey.
And happy birthday, Caitlin. May you have a wonderful day and a glorious year ahead of you until you have your next birthday. So thank you for joining us on your birthday.
And go to Shogun. They have some good birthday cake.
I doubt they live that close.
Chef Rigo, hook them up.
All right, what's next?
From Sam Fisher, I think I misunderstood Pride Month. Does anyone want to buy 15 lions?
Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Dan's Productions, I was disappointed in this series, to be honest.
You're not alone, Dans. I think there were a good number. Hey, there were people who absolutely loved it, and there were people who were disappointed with it. All right, what's next?
From Francesca De Pisa, been a huge fan of Moulin Rouge since the first time I watched it, and I got to see it on Broadway last week. Made me love it even more if that was possible.
I haven't seen it on Broadway, but I would love to. I've heard it's fantastic.
Coming to Pantages, right? Aren't you seeing it? Are you who I know who has tickets?
Well, Anne has annual passes, so
that might be
I
right.
will probably be going to see it. I was enthralled with that movie the very first time I saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Like the whole "This Is Your Song" number is one of my favorite
Yeah.
numbers in all of movies. It's just I love this, and it gets me the ending is, and there's always never a dry eye in the theater when that ending comes, and Satine, and oh god, that movie's so good.
When
Boss,
you guys go to the Pantages, let me know because I will. Tom and I will have a
see
date
it.
night. Yeah, we'll all go.
We'll watch your baby.
Oh.
Or we all can go together.
Or you
I'm
can watch
giving you
my baby.
options. Or I can watch your baby.
all right, what's next?
See where I'm on the picking order. The Pimps of Vegas return. I liked Elvis, but it felt like the never-ending story because it was never-ending.
Yeah, again, and that is a consequence of one of the strengths of the movie. That kinetic, ceaseless energy of the go, 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 and the way they told the story in that way, that's a positive. The drawback of it, though, is that it runs out of gas and it starts to exhaust the audience. And again, they just scalped like 20, 25 minutes out of it. Mwah, chef's kiss. All right, what's next?
From, there we go. CD Swift sending in support, and Fredo giving support.
Thank you, guys. And do we have any other from
I
members?
just got one last one. Let me open this up. It's from CDXN2197. Kenobi was hit and miss. Loved episode 1, 2, and 6. Rest was meh. Obi-Wan is my favorite character in all of media, but I'm kind of sick of Star Wars staying small. Looking forward to Taika's
Waititi, yeah.
Taika's take, stay filthy.
Yeah, again, Star Wars is going to feel small until we get the feature films back. And hopefully Taika Waititi, they said that's the next one up. Hopefully he's going to deliver that. All right, guys. And that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. Big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it, and all of us involved with the John Campea Show. Thank you guys so much for your support. I want to thank the people sitting in here. First of all, Chris Carr. Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me today on this channel doing the After Obi-Wan open spoiler discussion with RMB, or you can find me at Actor Chris Carr on both Twitter and Instagram.
And of course, we've got Aaron Cummings and Joey Bishop. Where can people find you guys?
You can find lots of pictures of us on Instagram. And tomorrow I will be posting my new updated demo reel. So you can check that out with lots of new unseen footage. Well, I mean, it'll be seen if you watch television, but...
And of course, Ray Ora's over there. Ray, where can people find you?
Ray Ora with a 0.
And beside him, running the show today, producer Jonathan Voico. Jonathan, where can people find you?
You can find me piloting F-18s on Twitter at Sonic if you want it.
And you guys, of course, can follow me on Instagram and Twitter simply at John Campea. Okay, guys, that'll do it for us for now. Thanks a lot for being here. My name's John Campea. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.